In 2026, some of the worst cruise experiences don't come from bad food or bad weather. They come from the cabin you sleep in every single night. The wrong cabin can mean constant noise, bad smells, motion sickness, broken sleep, dirty air, delayed service, or even safety issues during emergencies. And here's the dangerous part. Most of these cabins look perfectly fine on the booking screen. If you skip this checklist, you won't realize the mistake until you're already on board, unpacked, and stuck. But if you follow this phase-by-phase system, you'll know exactly which cabins to avoid in 2026, why they cause problems, and how to quietly choose better cabins that feel calmer, cleaner, and more expensive than what you paid for. This is Shipverse. Let's start before you even touch the booking button. Phase 1 pre-booking reality check purpose. Eliminate cabins that look good online but fail in real life. Step 1. Stop trusting deck number alone. Action. Ignore the idea that higher deck equals better cabin. Why it matters. In 2026, ship layouts are denser, heavier, and more vertically stacked than ever. Higher decks often sit directly under loud public spaces. What goes wrong if skip? You end up under a pool deck, buffet, or nightclub, hearing chairs drag at 5 a.m. and bass vibrations until midnight. Insider detail. Pool deck crew start moving furniture before sunrise. That scraping sound transfers straight down through the steel. Step 20. Identify what's directly above and below your cabin. Action. Pull up the ship's full deck plan and trace vertically. Why it matters. Noise travels vertically far more than horizontally. What goes wrong if skip? You'll feel vibrations even if you don't hear obvious noise. Pro tip. Cabins sandwiched between two cabin decks are usually the quietest on the entire ship. Step 3V. Avoid cabins near visible service zones. Action. Look for blank or unlabeled spaces on deck plans. Why it matters. These areas are often crew corridors, linen rooms, mechanical access points. What goes wrong if skippy? Doors slamming, carts rolling, early morning crew traffic. Little known fact, crew traffic peaks between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Not overnight. Phase 2A. Noise traps most passengers miss. Purpose. Protect your sleep and sanity. Step 4. Avoid cabins under buffet seating. Not just the buffet. Action. Check where seating areas extend beyond food counters. Why it matters. Seating areas stay active longer and start earlier than food stations. What goes wrong if skipped? Constant footsteps, dropped plates, cleaning equipment, noise. Insider detail. Cleaning crews use industrial machines that vibrate through decks. Step 5. Stay clear of theaters, lounges, and atriums. Action. Avoid cabins beside or above performance spaces. Why it matters. Sound checks happen during the day. Shows end late at night. What goes wrong if skipped? Bass vibrations you feel in your chest, not just your ears. Pro tip. Atrium noise echoes upward through multiple decks. Step 6. Be careful with midship convenience. Cabins. Action. Avoid cabins near elevator banks and stairwells. Why it matters. Elevators never sleep. What goes wrong if skipped? Foot traffic, noise, loud conversations, door slams at all hours. Little known fact, crew use passenger elevators during shift changes on many ships. Phase 30. Motion, vibration, and seasickness zones. Purpose. Reduce physical discomfort you can't escape. Step 7. Avoid extreme forward cabins unless you know your tolerance. Action. Skip cabins at the very front of the ship. Why it matters. These areas feel the most pitch and vertical movement. What goes wrong if skip? Headaches, nausea, trouble sleeping even in calm seas. Pro tip. Forward motion feels worse at night when visual references disappear. Step 8. Be cautious with aft cabins near propulsion systems. Action. Research whether the ship uses traditional shafts or pod propulsion. Why it matters. Vibration patterns differ by ship design. What goes wrong if skip? Low-frequency rumbling that feels like a constant engine hum. Insider detail. Pod-driven ships often vibrate more during docking and maneuvering. Step 9V. Avoid cabins near stabilizer housing. Action. Check deck plans for stabilizer fin locations. Why it matters. These areas experience structural vibration during rough seas. What goes wrong if skip? Shuddering walls and rattling fixtures. Little known fact, stabilizers deploy more frequently on modern ships due to heavier superstructures. Phase 40. Smell, air, and hygiene risks. Purpose. Protect your comfort and health. Step 10A. Avoid cabins near galleys and food prep zones. Action. Trace horizontal proximity, not just vertical. Why it matters. Food smells travel through ventilation systems. What goes wrong if skip? Persistent grease, fried food odors, or garbage smells. Insider detail. Galley trash rooms are often adjacent to crew corridors near cabins. Step 11. Be careful with cabins near laundry or linen rooms. Action. Look for service markings on deck plans. Why it matters. Heat, humidity, and chemical smells leak into nearby cabins. What goes wrong if skip? Damp, feeling rooms, and musty air. Pro tip. Linen rooms operate almost continuously on sea days. Step 20. Avoid cabins near smoking zones, even outdoors action. Check outdoor deck smoking areas above or beside your cabin. Why it matters. Smoke travels upward and inward. What goes wrong if skip balcony smoke smell even if you don't smoke? Little known fact, wind patterns at sea often push smoke toward balconies below. Phase fee balcony cabin myths in 2026 purpose. Avoid paying more for a worse experience. Step 30. Don't assume all balconies are private action. Inspect balcony layout carefully. Why it matters. Some balconies are visible from above or beside. What goes wrong if skip feeling exposed? Reduced relaxation. Pro tippy, look for solid metal dividers instead of glass. Step 4. You say. Avoid obstructed or partially obstructed balconies. Action. Read cabin descriptions closely. Why it matters. Obstructions block airflow and views. What goes wrong if skipped? Hot, stagnant balconies and poor photography angles. Insider detail. Obstructed balconies often retain heat from lifeboats or structural beams. Or step 15. Be cautious with aft-facing balconies on busy itineraries. Action. Consider port-heavy schedules. Why it matters. Engine soot is more common during frequent docking. What goes wrong if skip dirty balcony furniture and railings? Little known fact, soot issues spike during short port stays with rapid maneuvering. Phase 60. Inside and ocean view cabins that cause problems. Purpose. Avoid cabins that cost you comfort. Step 16C. Avoid inside cabins near crew only zones. Action. Check for crew stairwells and access doors. Why it matters. Crew movement is constant and efficient, not quiet. What goes wrong if skip interrupted sleep and constant hallway noise? Pro tippy, inside cabins midship, mid-deck are often the quietest budget options. Step 17. Be careful with porthole ocean view cabins. Action. Confirm window size and placement. Why it matters. Some portholes sit too high or low. What goes wrong if skipped awkward views or blocked light? Insider detail. Some portholes are intentionally frosted for structural reasons. Step 18E. Avoid cabins with connecting doors unless needed. Action. Skip connecting cabins if you're not traveling with others. Why it matters. Sound travels through door seams. What goes wrong if skipped? Hearing neighbors clearly. Little known fact, connecting doors are thinner than standard walls. Phase 70. Safety and access considerations. Reduce risk during emergencies and delays. Step 9. Avoid cabins far from muster stations if mobility matters. Action. Check muster station proximity. Why it matters. Long walks during drills or emergencies add stress. What goes wrong if skipped? Delays, fatigue, confusion. Pro tip, midship cabins often have faster access routes. Step 20. Be cautious with cabins at extreme ends of long corridors. Action. Consider walking distance. Why it matters. Daily fatigue adds up. What goes wrong if skipped? More exhaustion, less enjoyment. Insider details. Some corridors exceed 300 feet end to end. Phase 80. Final pre-booking verification. Purpose. Lock in the best possible outcome. Step 21. Cross-check reviews by cabin number, not category. Action. Search forums and videos for specific cabin numbers. Why it matters. Categories hide individual problems. What goes wrong if skip? Yeah, you inherit someone else's long-standing issue. Pro tip. One bad cabin can exist in an otherwise great category. Step 22. Avoid last-minute free upgrades without verification. Action. Ask what you're upgrading into. Why it matters. Say, some upgrades move you into problem zones. What goes wrong if skipped? Worse sleep for a slightly bigger room. Insider detail. Ships often upgrade into cabins that are harder to sell. Traps to avoid in 2026. Don't assume newer ships mean quieter cabins. Don't trust category names over deck placement. Don't ignore ventilation, vibration, and service traffic. Don't prioritize price over location without understanding the trade-off. The right cabin doesn't just feel nicer. It affects your sleep, your mood, your health, and how much of the ship you actually enjoy. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a cruise cabin that completely ruined or completely saved your trip? Drop your experience in the comments. Your story could save someone else thousands of dollars and a lot of frustration.